In the hallways of MIT, one of the world's most prestigious universities, an advanced math problem stumps every genius on campus. But to everyone's shock, an unassuming janitor cracks the code while doing his rounds. This news sends shockwaves through the entire university. Even a professor on vacation rushes back by plane. Because anyone capable of solving this problem would typically be a Fields Medal winner at the absolute top of the mathematical world. Naturally, everyone is dying to find out who this mysterious genius is. But the next day, though the classroom is packed, there is no sign of the prodigy. Left with no choice, the professor writes an even harder problem on the chalkboard, one that took the faculty 2 full years to solve. The professor eagerly awaits the genius to strike again. But little does anyone know, this legendary prodigy is currently being hauled away by the police after a street brawl. Will is an orphan who bounced around foster homes, frequently running away to escape severe abuse. Now, he barely scrapes by working odd jobs. Though he has no formal higher education, reading is his ultimate passion, and his jaw-dropping talent has made him a self-taught master. Spotting the new problem on the MIT chalkboard, he instinctively begins to solve it. Just as he is about to finish the second problem, the professor catches him in the act. Mistaking him for a vandal, the professor barks at him to stop. Will bolts, but not before shouting back a sarcastic greeting. But when the professor steps up to examine the chalkboard, he is utterly speechless. The incredibly complex equations are completely flawless. In a matter of minutes, Will has done what took a team of academics 2 years. That night, Will and his friends hit a bar near Harvard. His best friend, Chucky, tries to pick up a girl by pretending to be an Ivy League student, only to be utterly humiliated and exposed by a pretentious snob. At that exact moment, Will steps in. He flawlessly recites every piece of obscure historical knowledge the snob prides himself on, even calling out the exact page numbers of the books they came from.
But is that your thing? You come into a bar, you read some obscure passage, and then pretend you pawn it off as your own idea just to impress some girls? Embarrass my friend? See, the sad thing about a guy like you is in 50 years, you're going to start doing some thinking on your own, and you're going to come up with the fact that there are 2 certainties in life. 1, don't do that. And 2, you dropped 150 grand on a fucking education you could have got for $1.50 in late charges at the public library.
This display catches the eye of a girl named Skylar, who ends up giving Will her phone number.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
Meanwhile, after discovering Will is the anonymous genius, the professor searches high and low for him. But by the time he finally tracks him down, it's inside a courtroom. Unable to afford a lawyer, Will is acting as his own defense for his latest street fight. However, his brilliant legal arguments fail to sway the judge. Given his extensive rap sheet, he is facing serious jail time unless he can post a massive $50,000 bail. Desperate to save this rare talent, the professor personally pleads with the judge. He posts Will's bail under 2 strict conditions. First, Will must study advanced mathematics with him every week. Second, he must attend regular therapy sessions. Soon, the professor takes the bailed out Will under his wing to begin their mathematical research. It doesn't take long for him to realize that Will is a once-in-a-generation mind, born for mathematics. But haunted by his tragic childhood, Will carries deep psychological scars. He completely resists treatment, mocking and driving away several top-tier therapists in a row. In desperation, the professor reaches out to his old college roommate, Sean, a brilliant, unconventional psychologist. Sparks fly the moment these 2 intellectual forces meet. Starting with casual banter, every sentence is a calculated move to control the narrative. Each tries to pull the other into his own psychological domain. At first, they are evenly matched, but Will pushes the boundaries without hesitation. He uses a painting in the office to ruthlessly dissect and attack Sean's personal life, nearly snapping the mild-mannered professor's composure.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You married the wrong woman. What happened? Why'd she leave you? Was she, banging some other guy?
If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you. I will fucking end you. Got the chief?
Time's up. Yeah.
For their second session, Sean takes Will to a lakeside park for a heart-to-heart. He tells Will that books can give him knowledge, but they can't teach him what life actually feels like. Will may have read everything, but he has never felt the agonizing pain of losing a soulmate, nor has he ever stood on a real battlefield.
You're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. You've never been out of Boston. Michelangelo, you know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. I ask you about war, you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watch him gasp his last breath looking to you for help. I ask you about love. Probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. And you would know about sleeping sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months holding her hand because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much.
This breakthrough deeply rattles Will, and he slowly begins to lower his guard. Will opens up about his romantic life. Following their encounter at the bar, Will and Skylar go out on a date. Even though he keeps up the persona of a brilliant college student, he knows it's all a facade. He is deeply insecure, crippled by the fear of revealing his imperfections. All the genius intellect he relies on means absolutely nothing when it comes to matters of the heart. Compared to the terrifying vulnerability of love, the complex math he solves with the professor seems incredibly simple. After listening, Sean shares some of the quirky, everyday habits of his late wife.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous. You know, she used to fart in her sleep. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up. She woke up and got like, "Oh, was that you?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell her." Oh, God. She woke herself up.
The two laugh together like old friends. Sean tells Will that although his wife has been gone for years, when he looks back, it's those little quirks he misses the most. He explains that one day Will realize intimacy isn't about finding someone perfect, it's about finding someone whose imperfections perfectly match your own. This realization finally gives Will the courage to lean in, and his relationship with Skylar takes off. Just to wrap up his work quickly and head out on a date, he casually scribbles the solution to a problem that baffled academics for a full day onto a cocktail napkin. Yet, while solving world-class math is child's play for this genius, he remains utterly powerless when it comes to solving his own life. Sometime later, Skylar prepares to move to California for medical school and asks Will to come with her. But Will panics. He instinctively rejects new beginnings and choices. He is convinced she will stop loving him by next week, viewing himself as just a brief detour in her life.
What is your obsession with this money? My father died when I was 13 and I inherited this money. You don't think every day I wake up and I wish that I could give it back, that I would give it back in a second, if it meant I could have one more day with him? Don't put your shit on me when you're the one that's afraid.
I'm afraid. What am I afraid of? What the fuck am I afraid of?
You're afraid of me, you're afraid that I won't love you back. You know what? I'm afraid too. Fuck it, I want to give it a shot, and at least I'm honest with you.
Driven by insecurity and fear, he pushes her away, triggering a massive fight that ends their relationship. Shattered by the breakup, he spirals into self-sabotage, ready to completely throw away his gift.
Yeah, you're right, Will. I can't do this proof. But you can, and when it comes to that, it's only about... It's just a handful of people in the world who can tell the difference between you and me. But I'm one of them.
Sorry.
Yeah, so am I. Most days I wish I never met you. Because then I could sleep at night. I didn't have to walk around with the knowledge that there was someone like you out there. I didn't have to watch you throw it all away.
Will visits Sean, looking for some form of comfort. But this time, Sean is deeply disappointed. He sees that Will is still using defensive bullshit to mask his fragile, wounded soul. For the first time, Sean kicks him out of his office. Just like that, Will is back to square one, spending his days on dusty construction sites, knocking back a beer with his best friends after a hard day's work. But he soon realizes that the life he once found comfortable no longer feels the same. He can't go back. Sensing his inner turmoil, his best friend Chucky sits him down for a brutal, heartfelt truth.
Look, you're my best friend, so don't take this the wrong way. In 20 years, if you're still living here, coming over my house to watch the Patriots game, still working construction, I'll fucking kill you. That's not a threat. What? That's a fact. I'll fucking kill you. What the fuck are you talking about? Look, you got something none of us have.
Oh, come on. Why is it always this? I mean, I fucking owe it to myself to do this or that. What if I don't want to?
No. Fuck you. You don't owe it to yourself. You owe it to me. Because tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'll be 50. And I'll still be doing this shit. And that's all right. That's fine. I mean, you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket. You're too much of a pussy to cash it in. And that's bullshit. Because I'd do fucking anything to have what you got. So would any of these fucking guys. It'd be an insult to us if you're still here in 20 years. Hanging around here is a fucking waste of your time.
You don't know that.
I don't?
No, you don't know that.
No, I don't know that. Let me tell you what I do know. Every day I come by your house and I pick you up. And we go out, we have a few drinks and a few laughs, and it's great. You know what the best part of my day is? It's for about 10 seconds from when I pull up to the curb and when I get to your door. Because I think maybe I'll get up there and I'll knock on the door and you won't be there. No goodbye, no see you later, no nothing. just left.
These words cut Will to the bone, leaving him utterly speechless. That is what a real friend does. When you're on the verge of throwing your life away, they grab you and pull you back onto the right track. Will returns to Sean's office. Sean looks over Will's childhood file, staring at the horrific photos of his abused body, and shares his own painful memories of domestic abuse. He understands Will better than anyone. He knows the trauma. He knows the pain. Looking him dead in the eye, Sean repeats a single, powerful phrase over and over. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me. It's not your fault.
Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't fuck with me, Sean, not you.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Will's emotional dam, built up over a lifetime, finally bursts. He breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably in Sean's arms, finally healing the deepest wounds of his past. Shortly after, his friends surprise him with a 21st birthday gift, a patched-together, rebuilt old car. The next day, Will drives the car to Sean's building, drops off a letter, and hits the road. Passing on the lucrative corporate jobs the professor lined up for him, he chooses instead to take the beat-up car his friends built and drive across the country to find the girl he loves. Meanwhile, Chucky pulls up to Will's house as usual, but no one answers the door. Peeking inside the empty, cleaned-out house, a knowing smile spreads across his face. He knows Will is finally gone. Just like they always talked about, no long goodbyes, no grand exits.